Super Idol di Charo, domain to attend by Chung for the.
Alright, we're gonna watch IGN's First Descendant review. I heard that they reviewed it bad. They reviewed it bad. I guess I won't say the review until that, like the rating until the end to not spoil it, I guess, for you guys, but or I already saw the rating. And they pretty much they don't like the game, they don't like the game. Now it's not Demon Slayer where they ranked it like 3, and I'll probably make another video for that. But yeah, we'll see. And I just finished playing First Descendant. Just made it to level 10, just killed the first Colossi. I will say I don't think it's a bad game. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's terrible. Let's just say that. I don't think it's terrible. I'll just say I'm enjoying my time on the game. And let's just start watching it. Or I go on a fucking rant for like 30 minutes.
With so many live service games vying for your attention, the First Descendant feels like it was focus group tested to please as many people as possible, and it's fated for mediocrity as a result. This unabashedly derivative shooter borrows tired ideas from better games, covers them in a thick layer of free-to-play annoyances, then pads the whole thing out with mind-numbingly repetitive free-to-play borrows tired pads the whole thing out with mind-numbingly repetitive missions just in case you were still managing to have fun. That's unfortunate, because underneath all that cheap wood and crumbling drywall is a really strong foundation, with entertaining gunplay and charismatic characters I'd like to get to know better. The First Descendant is by no means the first live service game to come out of the oven half-baked, so there's always a chance updates will make it more palatable in the months and years to come, but it's off to an underwhelming start.
Okay, he says something, but was it down here?
For mediocrity as a result. It's like it was focus group tested to please as many people as possible. And
so I will say, and I'll go back up here. This is the main thing I wanted to focus on. But I don't think it is. I don't think it's like trying to please every. This is pretty much just straight up like Destiny. If they're trying to please like every group as possible, I don't know, like maybe there'd be like more magic in the game. I don't think this is just for trying to please everybody. Like they try to say it for what's it called? What's that game called? Like Helldivers and Elden Ring were like, we're not trying to please everybody, we're trying to focus on I think they are focusing just like those other two games. But I will say this is straight up pretty much just Destiny, but just Korean Destiny, pretty much. Just Korean Destiny with like maid outfits and fucking anime girls and shit.
updates will make it more palatable in the months and years to come, but it's off to an underwhelming start.
Yeah, so far I'll say I'm having fun playing it. I'm only level 10 though, so we'll see.
Developer Nexon's take on a multiplayer third-person shooter plays in some of the same spaces as Genshin Impact, complete with cool-looking characters to unlock and countless currencies and materials to grind for, all of which can be bypassed if you're willing to simply cough up your hard-earned cash. And like some of its polished contemporaries, to simply cough up your hard-earned cash. All of which can be bypassed if you're willing, and countless currencies and materials to grind for, all of which can be bypassed if you're willing to simply cough up your hard-earned cash.
Okay, I will say, and he was talking about like the fucking shit in the shop too costing a lot. I think he showed Bunny's Descendant character fig costing like 400k. Yeah, most of the Descendants or regular ones are like 400k. The other ones, like the yellow ones, the legendary ones, they're like 900k. I literally got Bunny within an hour 30 minutes. An hour 30 minutes. I'm not like adding in my total playtime because I was just fucking around and chilling sometimes, but in terms of like grinding for that much money, I got her pretty damn quick. And you know, this one dude was like, yeah, it took me a couple hours to get this one descendant. This one, I mean, maybe it's because like it's the first one, but I got it pretty damn quick. I think killing a colossi gives you like 200k also. I think that's what I got. Maybe even more when you level up. So it's pretty easy to get new characters and shit. Like it doesn't cost that much. And with the researching shit, I do agree. It's kind of fucking annoying, right? I was like, what's the point of that? I mean, I know they're trying to shill more money and shit, but it could have been a better way to do this. Like this is pretty fucking obvious, you know? Fucking you already got the weapon. You're just paywalled behind like a couple hours or so. It's pretty fucking stupid, but it'd be whatever. Besides that, um, you know, it's a free game. You know, they gotta shill a little bit. You know, shill some money. But the research shit is kind of wild though. Yeah, it's reminding me of Dragon Age Inquisition where they had the war table, and in order to do like certain war table missions, you click on the mission, and then like some of them, actually not some, a lot of them took over like a day. You know, so you had to wait like real time too. So yeah. Though you can bypass it with mods on a PC, like go through all of them pretty much instantly.
And like some of its polished contemporaries, there's a pretty decent game here in spite of a UI that requires a PhD in RPG hogwash to decipher, and an irritating monetization model. Running around
I don't think the UI is that bad.
with friends while shooting enemies and unleashing interesting supernatural abilities upon alien armies is an undeniably good time, and the deep RPG mechanics and loot systems are a spreadsheet-loving nerd's dream. It's also a fairly pretty game that feels a lot more premium than one might expect, even with the occasional frame rate dip or crash. That said, its monetization model is every bit as eyebrow-raising as it sounds. The story and dialogue is laughably bad, and much of the campaign is packed with filler that can be a real snooze. I've spent the vast majority of my 120 hours of playtime dashing around small hub areas, completing repetitive chores in between much more substantial missions and boss battles against robotic kaiju. Those self-contained missions and bosses are exactly the kind of thing I hope for in an action-packed cooperative game. Some seriously awesome combat, interesting enemies to take down, and a loot system that had me regularly trying out the latest shiny weapon I pulled from some schmuck's corpse. That said, even these more enjoyable bits weren't without major irritations, like how nearly every boss has multiple layers of shielding that have to be peeled off before they can be damaged, most of which respawn multiple times or heal if you take too long to remove them. A few even have shields on top of their shields, so you're constantly stopping what you're doing to shoot a tiny target and remove a protective barrier, only to find yourself staring at another one seconds later. But those are
Yeah, I will say I was pretty much at that same boss. Well, they had pretty much the same like ability. That shit's annoying. That's pretty much like so far all the bosses. They don't really have like good abilities and stuff. That's why I was like with the Colossus. I was saying in my stream, I just finished it. Like, I wish he had more abilities or like a phase two where he just goes fucking ham or some shit, you know? I don't know, maybe like faster attack speed or something in the phase two, like Elden Ring bosses or some shit. Otherwise, if they're not gonna do phase two, like give them like at least two more abilities and not like just a shit ton of health. 'Cause he's just big boned. He just meat. He just meat, bro. That's literally all the bosses so far that I killed. I'm only level 10, you know, so I just killed the first Colossi, so bear with me, you know. But yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree. The shields were annoying too. That shit was annoying as shit. And then there's like that little auto lock on for that one boss. Like where is it at? Yeah, this dude right over
before they can
here.
be damaged, most of which respawn multiple times or heal if you take too long to remove them. A few even have shields on top of their shields,
Or
so
whatever.
you're constantly
Yeah, the
even
auto lock
these more
on.
enjoyable
Yeah, that little ring shit. It's like Moog's like fucking nihil type shit. Yeah, that shit. Oh my gosh. Like if you don't kill other enemies around and like pick up the little health crystal things, but you can die pretty fucking easily. I think that's a weird mechanic. I don't really like it. It's kind of annoying.
But those are still bright spots compared to the much more numerous missions you're expected to do in between every story beat, which have you grapple hooking across open world areas to complete intensely monotonous errands. These include a little mini game where you have to collect items from fallen enemies and deposit them into a collection bin, an escort quest where you have to follow a drone around an area slowly while fighting small waves of baddies, and several variations of missions where you're just standing in a circle as you keep it clear of foes. Not only do most of these involve a whole lot of waiting around for enemies to spawn, but you'll replay them in every new area until they are both tiresome and woefully predictable. There are so many missions like these, and it adds hours upon hours to a roughly 30-hour campaign that would probably be a quarter as long if they just went straight to the stuff that's actually worth playing.
Okay. That's fair enough. I think so far for me, almost every little tiny mission, it hasn't been repeated enough, too much, because I'm still, like, kind of early in the game, like, level 10. So, I mean, I guess, like, fair enough. Fair enough. I do hate the repetition, too. I do see how it can get annoying. But it's also, it's a shooter game. It's looter shooter. So I'm not really surprised that it's like that, low key. I don't think I would get terribly bored about it either, That I don't think I would by that. And I think part of that problem also is because it's the same mob types. It's the same enemies. Yeah, in Destiny it'd be like you got like different I think there was at least two different what's it called, like enemies, like or races, main races of enemies. There's probably way more now, right? With the story and the like, I don't even bother playing Destiny anymore. I can't play that shit. The UI is fucking, oh my gosh, there's just too much shit on my screen. But anyways, yeah, I think like, and they kind of, I think like in the beginning of playing First Descendant, I think they introduced enemies, like I guess like different types a little bit too early. I think they could have just stayed with the regular 3 or 4, at least 4 until like level 10 where I'm at now, right? And then they could have introduced other mob types to make it more interesting and not boring and shit, with the same shit over and over again. But that's just me. But I get that. I get that. Um, Fair enough.
Even if you can
I don't think it's that bad though. But again, I'm like level 10.
forgive the often trite missions, the story itself is consistently a waste of time and absolutely not worth paying attention to. Absolutely brimming with nonsensical sci-fi babble like dimensional walls, inverted data codes, and unleashing arcade.
Why is it
It's one of
lagging?
the sillier stories I've seen in a while, and I play Destiny. Most of the dialogue is
What?
one of the sillier stories I've seen in a while.
I will say, I don't think Destiny's story is bad. Like, I actually liked it. I think it's a little interesting. Now, it might be shit now, but when it first came out with Destiny 1, and then when Destiny 2 first came out before the live service shit, it's not a bad story. The story is actually good. I think it's actually, yeah, I think it's actually good. I will say this story so far is mid compared to Destiny, but I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's terrible. It's a little interesting, but it's not like blah.
And I play Destiny. Most of the dialogue is absolutely atrocious. At one point, I burst out laughing when a guy said this.
Because will not increase. The roars of the vulgus will fill this land with fear.
And they keep making you talk to
Huh? I don't think that's like a bad dialogue line. Yeah, I think he voice acted that fine. And I was complaining about the voice acting in when I was streaming. Yeah, like in terms of Bunny, I think it's a little off with the voice acting. Like it's not really. I don't feel the emotion sometimes. I mean, like, I know she's a uppity up character, but like a little too uppity up. It's like she's like just reading the lines, but and that's with other characters too sometimes. But it's not really. I mean, my thing is I just care if the game is good or bad. Shit, and it's not. stupidly annoying. It's just noticeable, right? It's just noticeable. This line is not that bad. I mean, dialogue's fine, and the way he voice acted is fine. I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about, low key.
August will fill this round with
Yeah, it's fine.
chaos.
It's not corny or anything either.
And they keep making you talk to this annoying little brat. It's truly heinous stuff.
I'd watch what you're saying, Glay. I carried out my side of the operation perfectly.
Thankfully, the most interesting characters are those you can unlock and play as. That
They say it like
includes the
that.
unflappable electric speedster Bunny, who is my personal favorite, and the sarcastic and smarmy grenade-chucking soldier Lepic. Some of the casts do still seem a bit shallow, largely because you only get a little backstory and character development for most of them, but hearing them cheer as you blast monsters to bits and seeing their charming animations, which clearly had more effort put into them than those of the NPCs, is quite nice. Only one of these playable characters has an actual quest line associated with them right now, with more planned for the future. But that story is one of the better threads currently available, so here's hoping they're quick to add more on that front.
Oh, my beloved daughter, Daya. Hold on a little longer. Your mom will save you no matter what.
Actually learning to play as them is great too. One character might control the battlefield with explosive AoE attacks, while another covers enemies in devastating ice-based debuffs. Bunny does insane DPS by running around as much as possible to generate electrical energy, then
Yep.
unleashes it in powerful blasts. Since each of these characters has their own style of play, switching between them
That shit is fucking cracked, bro. It might be worse than like Malga. She might be more cracked than Malga in Overwatch, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
offers a markedly different
She
experience.
just instantly fucking kills him. She don't even gotta shoot.
Like how Ajax, a heavy tank with protective abilities, is all about standing your ground instead. Most games with playable
Oh, I was trying to remember what I wanted to say. I don't know. Bunny's like, I literally just got Bunny. I didn't really test her out. I did see like people like playing as her though, but yeah, I don't think like in terms of they might be diverse enough. I think bro is just I mean, once again, this is a shooter game, the main thing to do is shoot, right? So yeah.
characters as its main chase, live or die by how compelling those unlockable
Ooh.
avatars are, and the First Descendant is loaded with distinctive options that are alluring to obtain.
That's pretty cool. What that like dude was like a fucking kamikaze pilot. Fucking kamikaze pilot, bro. Couldn't find the word.
Fortunately, aside from the first couple characters you unlock in the opening hours, the process of accessing the rest is dreadfully painful unless you're willing to open your pocketbook. In the name of science, I decided to really dial in and see how much effort it would take to unlock one specific character from start to finish without spending any real money. After
Okay.
10 hours of repetitive grinding for the required materials, a whopping 8 of which was spent replaying a single mission trying to get one specific key item to drop, and then 20 more hours of waiting for arbitrary time gates to pass, the experience had nearly broken me. I've got to admit, when the alternative to all of this mindless, soul-destroying grinding and time gating is
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, because I did say Bunny, like it took like 1 hour 30 minutes, 2 hours to like fucking get her. Or at least get like, the enough coins to get her. Okay, this is what he says. Another person on Reddit or whatever, he said like 4 or 5 hours. So I mean, we'll see. I'll check the comment section after this video, but we'll get the right answer. Because I'm only level 10, and I just got Bunny. It was like my second descendant, so we'll see.
to simply
But fair enough, especially if he spent like 8 hours on like the same mission trying to like get one collectible to get the next descent. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that would be annoying.
pay $10, it becomes a pretty appealing proposition in me. I've got to admit, when the alternative to all of this mindless, soul-destroying grinding and time gating is to simply pay $10, it becomes a pretty appealing proposition to cough up the dough. And that's the problem. Nexon has intentionally propped up obtuse, overly grindy systems that feel terrible, seemingly just to make it more enticing to pay money. And when there are already paid season passes and a whole slew of optional cosmetics that could
Ooh, we on Xbox. Nice.
Only be unlocked with money? Did it really need to throw in what is essentially an even more grindy version of Warframe's character unlock system just to annoy me into paying more on top of that? Either way, trying to unlock a single character for free was an absolutely excruciating experience that made me feel a whole lot worse about the First Descendant despite mostly enjoying the actual gameplay.
Do as I say.
Okay.
If you want to live.
Similarly, the
Okay, that's fair enough. I will give them that. Low key. Cause yeah, just waiting all that time and shit. I will say I kind of agree with the wait time. Yeah, just waiting all that time and shit to like after you get all the materials, you gotta wait like what did it say, like 15 hours or some shit? Like what the fuck? That's pretty much an entire day. Like you're not gonna wait until like what, like 5 a.m. to like 11 p.m. or something. I don't fucking know. Bro, I got a D in math, but anyways. Yeah, that's a little bit too much. It's giving Dragon Age Inquisition vibes. And I like Inquisition. I'm just like referencing the war table, right? Like there is some downsides to Inquisition, obviously.
weapons, equipment, and upgrades you
And yeah, I was giving it the free pass of it being a free to play game, and it needs to monetize and shit. You know, because of that. That wait time's a little excessive. They definitely, like he said, they could have found another way to like make you pay or some shit. But I think for me, I think I'll just grind it out. Because obviously I can buy that shit, right? But I feel like I just want to grind it out, low-key. I wouldn't mind it, you know?
earn while shotgunning your way through levels are awesome. Loot drops constantly. Most weapons
Because then, I keep pausing it. But because of that, like, if I don't grind it out, you know, the sense of reward, like, you know, I wouldn't have that with the game. If I just instantly buy it and it's like, boom, okay, you know, all right, and then what's next? You know, just finishing the story pretty damn quickly, like everything pretty quick, and then even just not even finishing the story quickly. It's just like the sense of reward in the game, you know, is pretty fucking low when you buy everything. That goes for like all games, and especially with Assassin's Creed. You know, you can. I was playing Odyssey. I'm still playing Odyssey right now, but you can get like I don't know. I'm just saying hypotheticals. I didn't really look at the shop in Odyssey yet, but in Valhalla and like all over Odyssey games, you can buy shit. You can buy a lot of shit. They throw that shit in your face. There's like an XP boost in Valhalla, and I think maybe other Assassin's Creed games too, like the newer ones. XP boosts. There's an XP boost that you can buy. You know, so. Man, I understand where bro's coming from. I understand. Yeah, that shit's kind of annoying. But, yeah, if you just buy the XP boosts, is you know, sense of reward, it's just kind of, it makes the game more stale than it is, or than it already is. Because yeah, I need to do like a full big ass video of Valhalla because that game just, like, damn, bro. Like, the story's a little interesting, but it's just...
feel distinct and satisfying to play with, and watching the numbers go up as you modify and upgrade every new toy in your arsenal makes the First Descendant hard to put down, until it forces you into about 15 separate menus to juggle dozens of materials and so many different systems that you might want to keep your inhaler at the ready. This kind of thing is pretty typical for looter shooters, granted, but even by the already gag-inducing standards of the genre, this one's particularly obnoxious to learn, especially since the tutorial robot who shows you the ropes in the social area explains things to you in a series of texts that pass by quickly enough to challenge your speed reading skills. Worse yet, these brutally obtuse systems have likewise been given the same arbitrary barriers as weapons, with various currencies and components to craft that can be made a whole lot less annoying if you just pay the piper.
Fair enough. I will say, though, yeah, the text was kind of annoying. Yeah, so, I mean... But I will say, in terms of the game, in the UI and shit, I kind of learned it pretty damn quick. I learned all of it pretty damn quickly. I mean, I took the time to read. It didn't even take that long to read, like, what shit does. You know? I mean, basically, this is all you need to know, like, especially for shooter games, but this is for pretty much every game. If the numbers are green, that means good. If the numbers are red, that means bad. It's pretty fucking simple. No, but the system hard and I don't understand. Green, good, red, bad. Like, what's so hard about that? It's pretty fucking, yeah, yeah. But in general, not joking. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad. It is. I mean, it looks like a lot of shit, but I don't think it's that bad in my opinion.
Obnoxious to learn, especially since the tutorial robot who quickly systems have likewise to. The First Descendant has all the building blocks of a fantastic looter shooter, but they're buried under a pile of monotonous quests, a terrible story, and an infuriating free-to-play model.
I don't think the story terrible. I mean, I didn't finish, like, I'm not like, I'm in the beginning of the game. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's acceptable,
Has influenced its game design in the worst possible way. In its best moments, blasting aliens apart with both fireballs and a satisfying arsenal of weapons makes for a really good time, but at least an equal portion of my time was spent battling perplexing design decisions that tested the limits of my abundant patience. Like its peers, future updates could evolve this live service into a much more consistently enjoyable way to spend time with friends, but for now, it misses the mark too often to make its grind feel worthwhile. For some recent live service alternatives, check out our reviews of Zenless Zone Zero or Destiny 2, The Final Shape. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
They really said well, no, The Final Shape, people were hyping that shit up, not gonna lie. I don't think the game that bad. Yeah, maybe because he be playing, like, a shit ton of shooter games. Maybe he reviews shooter games so many times and shit, and he's just tired of it. The nigga, get a new job. But anyways, I don't think it's that bad. I really don't. You can see by the dislikes too. Holy shit. 1.3 likes, 2K dislikes. I will say, it's not an amazing game, right? It's free to play. It's one of those games. It's a live service. But also, game just came out. It just came out, so I mean, give it time, especially because they only added in like one character story, like one descendant story. So give it time, bro. Give it time. I don't think it's terrible. How long is this video? Oh my gosh, 27 minutes. Jesus Christ. I knew it was gonna be long. IGN would hate Warframe if this is how they feel. Yeah, he compared it to Warframe. Like, he plays Warframe, so I don't know why, Yeah. Has never played Warframe. He said he did, though, so I'm actually just curious why he just doesn't like this game. Compared to Genshin and not Destiny or Warframe, says a lot about the... He did compare it, though. Well, he did it, like, once. I guess. Unless I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but yeah. He did kind of compare it to Destiny 2. He did compare it to Destiny. I think he did both. Either way, I mean, he's wrong, yeah. I mean, it is an opinion, but it's a bad opinion, right? I think it was a little too harsh with it. Like, I get his complaints and shit, but it doesn't take away too much from the game. I do understand with the story. He was like, "Oh, I'm tired of this side quest shit. The mission's repetitive, and you got to do the missions first in order to get to the big bosses and the actual story and shit." I hated that shit in Valhalla too. Valhalla. I mean, it was worse. I'm not gonna lie, it's worse. With those little missions too, they don't take long to do. They don't take long to do. I mean, from what I did for the past, I think I got like 3 hours in the game, total. They don't really take that long to do. But again, I'm only level 10, so I think he's just overreacting. IGN, 120 hours in game, showing 150 level gameplay. 10 hour to unlock Freyna, whining about grind. Me, 65 hour in game, complete all story, 7 descendants unlocked, 1 hour needed to unlock Okay, so I guess he was capping. Unless he was just doing something wrong, right? He said he took like 8 hours trying to like, I'm just like, get it. He was like, he's trying to get like this one component for the descendant. I was just like, it sounded a little off. But what I want to know what the average time for it is because I got Bunny pretty fucking quick. I don't think it should take more than like 5 hours. That one dude was like, yeah, 4 or 5 hours at most. 100 plus hours didn't mention hard mode. What were you doing? Play Barbie in Cash Shop? Oh yeah, I forgot there's a hard mode. Yeah, I was talking about the game being, well, I mean, I'm still in the beginning of the game. It was like, you know, not too challenging, but there is a hard mode. So yeah, I forgot about that. So that's good. Yeah, that's actually good. Yeah, I needed that reminder. Yeah, man. I give this game a 7 if you only care about the gameplay, you know. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pure 7 game. Like, it's obviously you can see the live service like fucking chilling, and especially when you gotta wait to like unlock a descendant. I don't, but besides that, I don't think it's terrible. Like, I think it's a good game. Yeah, it's a good game. Reviewer who doesn't understand free to play games or looter shooters. Yep, he was looting and shooting for 8 hours. I mean, if you don't like that, nah, but he must have been doing something wrong, bro. I don't know. I'm skeptical because Nexon, but I've been having fun and haven't spent a dime. Has a lot of potential. I don't really have too much experience with Nexon, but so far this game isn't bad. Oh, Once Human. They asked me to do like a little ad or like review for or just like a quick video. Um Might have been scam, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I left it alone, you know. I mean, I don't need money like that, you know. Unless it's like thousands of dollars, right? Then yeah, you know, I'd do it. But you know, I got a job, so I don't need to do that. I gave it a 5. Thanks, man. Well, I already knew that, but yeah. Um, Not a perfect game, but 5 is ridiculous. Yeah, I would say lowest a 6, but realistically, I think the correct score for it is 7 out of 10. Some people might find it even more enjoyable, but yeah. Bro didn't talk about hard mode or its increased drop rates at all. Oh, okay, that's good for hard mode, right? That makes sense. Game is fun to kill time. Yeah, I was actually looking for another shooter game to play. You know, and I was thinking about going back to Destiny, but I don't want to deal with the UI. I really don't. Every time I try to get back into Destiny, either 2 or 3 times, I looked at the fucking interface. And I was just like, oh my fucking gosh, bro. And I quickly uninstalled. I couldn't stay. I only went back to pay my respects to that Titan dude because he passed away. His voice actor passed away. Other than that, I just uninstalled it. You know, yeah, I don't really have plans of going back unless I'm playing with friends or something and they want to play Destiny too. But I mean, nah. But overall, I think IGN wrong with this one. I think they wrong. And the dislike ratio isn't like, I mean, it's obviously more dislikes, but it's not like terrible, right? Like we all know it's not a perfect game. But it's a looter shooter. It's a live service free to play looter shooter. It also just came out and you know, they didn't add that many story missions to the Descendants. And they don't even have those story missions with Destiny either. You know? They don't have the story missions with like characters and shit. I mean, I think it's no, I think they do. Those are like the NPC characters, you know, like Cade, right? But I think that's kind of part of the main story. I don't know. I think there is, but anyways, yeah. I mean, they didn't add everything into the game, but as the game is, it's a 7 out of 10, and I think it'll get better, you know, especially because it's a new game. You know, they didn't add everything in there. They're still like adding shit in there, so I don't think it's bad. I think IGN's wrong. But what do you think? I don't think it's bad. I think they overreacted. I don't know what this dude talking about. 5 out of 10 is like outrageous. They've been kind of fucking up the ratings because they gave Demon Slayer a 3. So I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what are they trying to be controversial on purpose? Because I know that Demon Slayer season, I mean, it was meh, but it wasn't a 3. Like, what the fuck? Jesus. Like, 3 is pretty much unwatchable. Anyways, that's it. That's out. IGN gave it a 5 out of 10. I think it's a 7 out of 10 so far. I'm only level 10, but I think it's a 7 out of 10 game.
Shot at a black man and took his shoes. Customized my AR like it Black Ops 2. Just scammed a white kid out of some Gorilla Glue. I don't wanna fuck this bitch, she smell like poo poo.